Then he stood up on his back legs. "What's he doing?" Kirsty said in surprise. The crab pointed a claw towards some rocks further along the cliffs. He scuttled away for a few steps, then came back and looked up at Rachel and Kirsty again. "Over there," he said in his scratchy voice. "I think he wants us to follow him," Rachel said. "Yes, yes," said the little crab, clicking his claws. He set off sideways across a large flat rock. Kirsty turned to Rachel. "Perhaps he knows where Sky is." "I hope so," Rachel replied, her eyes shining. The crab scuttled across a stretch of sand. Rachel and Kirsty followed him. It was a hot, sunny day. Seagulls flew overhead on strong white wings. "Rachel, Kirsty, it's nearly lunchtime," called Mrs. Walker. "We're going back to Dolphin Cottage." Kirsty looked at Rachel in dismay. "But we have to stay here and look for the blue fairy. What shall we do?" The little crab jumped up and down, kicking up tiny puffs of sand. Follow me," he said. Rachel thought quickly. "Mum," she called back, "could we have a picnic here instead, please?" Mrs. Walker smiled. "Why not? It's a beautiful day. And we should make the most of the last 3 days of our holiday. I'll pop back to the cottage with Kirsty's mum and fetch some sandwiches." Only 3 days, thought Kirsty, and 3 rainbow fairies still to find, Sky, Izzy, and Heather. The 2 girls waved as their mums left. Kirsty turned to Rachel. "We'd better hurry, they'd be back soon." The crab set off again over a big slippery rock. Rachel and Kirsty climbed carefully after him. Rachel saw him stop by a small pool. There were lots of pretty pink shells in it. "Is the fairy in one of the rock pools?" she asked. "Is it this one?" The crab looked into the pool. He scratched the top of his head with one claw, looking puzzled. Then he scuttled away. "I guess not," Kirsty said. "What about here?" Rachel said, stopping by another pool. This one had tiny silver fish swimming in it. But the crab shook his claw at them and kept going. "Not this one either," said Kirsty. Suddenly, Rachel spotted a large pool. It was all by itself, right at the foot of the cliff. "Let's try that one," she said, pointing. Kirsty ran over. The sky was reflected in the surface of the pool like a shiny blue mirror. Rachel caught up with her friend. She leaned over and looked into the water. The crab scuttled up behind them, his stalk eyes waggling like mad. When he dipped his claw into the pool, the water fizzed like lemonade. "Fairy!" cried the little crab, lifting his claw out of the water. Blue sparkles dripped off it and landed in the pool with a sizzle. The entire pool was shimmering with magic. Bubble trouble. "Thank you, little crab," Rachel said. She crouched down and stroked the top of the crab's shell. The crab waved one claw at her, then dived into the water. He sank to the sandy bottom and scuttled out of sight under some seaweed. Kirsty peered into the pool. "Can you see the blue fairy?" she asked. Rachel shook her head. Kirsty felt disappointed. "I can't either." "Do you think Jack Frost's goblins have found her?" Rachel said. "I hope not," Kirsty shuddered. "They'll do anything to stop the rainbow fairies getting back to Fairyland." Just then, Rachel and Kirsty heard a sweet voice singing a song. "With silver bells and cockle shells and pretty maids all in a row." "Oh!" Rachel gasped. "Do you think it's the little crab?" Kirsty shook her head. His voice was all gritty. "You're right," Rachel agreed. "This sounds tinkly, more like a fairy." "I think the singing is coming from that seaweed," said Kirsty, pointing into the rock pool. Rachel peered right in. She could see something unusual in the rippling water. "Look," she said. A huge bubble came bobbing out of the seaweed. It floated towards the surface of the pool. Rachel and Kirsty watched, their eyes very wide. There was a tiny girl inside.